highly requested how to make your own liquid foundation, and I'm going to show you today how simple it is to make it, but it's not entirely from scratch. However, it will also have your SPF included, so when you put on your foundation, you'll already have your sunscreen. So what you're going to need is a good organic sunscreen that has the active ingredient in it as a non-nano zinc oxide. So that's one of those white sunscreens. The brands that I like are this Ava Anderson sunscreen, as well as the Badger brands of sunscreen. You can check out Badger as well, and they have some. And there's another one called Green Screen. So just get yourself a good organic sunscreen. It's not much sense in making your own homemade foundation if you're going to use stuff with chemicals in it. And this one, the active ingredient is zinc oxide, like I said. And then the base is beeswax, cocoa butter, shea butter, olive oil, and jojoba oil, all organic. So I will show you how to do one completely from scratch in the future, but this is a quick and easy way to make your own foundation. So this was requested from the video I did on how to make your own powder, your tinted powder with cocoa powder, clay, and turmeric, as well as beet powder to get the tint that you want. So I'll link that right here for how to make this powder base. And I had a lot of questions about this powder base, of whether you can substitute something else for the clay. Sure, you can play around with anything you want in your kitchen, but I don't recommend cornstarch unless you can get it organic, because cornstarch is generally genetically modified and also contains a lot of toxins, pesticides, residues of things. And the clay is very healing to the skin, so I do highly recommend following the recipe. But if you want to play around yourself and try different things, sure, go ahead and do that too. Now, I don't really wear foundation, so I'm only going to make a small amount to show you. I did test it out and it does work, so you can make whatever amount you would like. And there's no real recipe, because it will all depend on how concentrated you want the tint. You can make it more like a tinted moisturizer by adding less of this powder, or you can make it as thick as a concealer by adding a whole load of this powder. So all you're going to do is get your sunscreen. Now, a lot of these natural sunscreens need to be mixed up a little by squeezing the tube, so you don't get like just a big blob of cream without the zinc oxide. So then you're just going to squeeze however much you want into your container. Mine is pretty thick here because I do keep it refrigerated, because I don't wear a lot of sunscreen, because we don't get a lot of sun here. And then it's pretty simple. Start adding just a little bit at a time of your coloring. And you're going to need a toothpick or something to stir it in. Now, for those with a very, very dark skin tone, the zinc oxide does have a whitening effect, so you may want to add just a touch more cocoa powder. This is perfect for my skin tone. So at this amount, it would be like a tinted moisturizer. Just want to mix every bit of that powder in really good. I just went and got a knife. If you have a little palette knife, it'll probably get it out of the corners even better again. So here you have it. Now, this is just like a tinted moisturizer at this stage, and it still has a little bit of a white hue to it. So we're going to add in just a little bit more to make a light foundation. There we go. And completely mix it in thoroughly. Don't want any lumps in your foundation. And of course, if you're making more than me, it actually is easier. The smaller amount you make, it's a little harder to mix. So there we go. So that's it. It was pretty simple. Just your good quality organic zinc oxide sunscreen and the powder that I showed you how to make in a previous video right here. Mix them together to the consistency you like and to the color that you like, and you have a 2-in-1 product. This is your foundation as well. Actually, it's a 3-in-1 product because this is very moisturizing. So it's like your moisturizer, your foundation, as well as your sunscreen. So I'll just do a little swatch here for you now. And it rubs in really well. And you can add more pigment if you like, if you prefer it more pigmented. And it just soaks into the skin very well, looks very natural, and it was pretty easy to make. I will show you in the future how to do one completely from scratch, but this is pretty simple and quick to do if you have a good organic sunscreen and you've made this powder. You can whip together your own 3-in-1 foundation pretty quick and pretty easy.